So I guess I kind of redeemed myself. I was wrong when I said that Putin wasn't going to invade, but I was right when I said that Trump was going to turn around and make peace with Iran, which somebody feels like they've been snaked out by Trump, because I'm sure that making peace with Iran was what they wanted to do. And it's the hyperbolic rhetoric of people like say like, oh, he's gonna invade Panama. He's like 2 steps ahead of you guys. I mean, if you're trying to go for the talking point every time, if you're trying to get him on a zinger every time, because like zingers is how you make a president. High-minded moral zingers is how you fuck around and end up the president. But I mean, it's not that easy as it sounds. They have to be the first one to come up with it, and then after that, I mean, even though you could tell that it's just a zinger, like trying to remove that zinger from trying to diminish it or something is very tricky. How are you gonna, So what's it? They're like, as soon as he gets in there, he's gonna start a war. You know that. But people don't pay attention to this shit. I bet you nobody. So like, it's easy to talk shit and so you must be like that or whatever. I don't know if how you make up your mind is through what's it called, confirmation bias, because if you think this or if you support that, then you must be like this, or you must be like I'm forced to assume. Like, nobody's forced to assume shit. You just have a bad theology. Yes, you just have a bad theology, and I feel like they're trying something to try to parse what is reality, but the method is not true. The method of parsing reality is false. So maybe because he knows that Assad didn't gas his own people, he's not going to want to eventually, like reseed the public psyche with this 15-year-old story. He's got to be, someone's conscious of that shit's going to pop up. And the liberals would like lay a trap, and they kind of want war, but they kind of, if anybody doesn't want to make war, there's a trap for you to fall in if you're not trying to start the wars. And they have, these warmongers just have a direct conduit pipeline right into the psyche. I guess, I don't know how it works, but they just wake up like that. It's like, I have to what's it called? Like, it's not even like you're gonna get to talk to Trump himself. You're just gonna get to talk to somebody that, like me, you know what I mean? And then you think that changing my mind is gonna change the whole world, but you don't even know why you want to change the world yet. If it ain't broke in some sense, like, we know it's broke and everything, but in some senses, the things that aren't broken, shit, you wouldn't even know you didn't have to fix it. Because in my mind, if you voted for that guy, then you want to start wars. Like I said, how come it doesn't make me, I mean, in the previous video, I should be further right, more hardcore conservative if you consider that that I voted for Trump, but my reason for disagreeing with him, is that narrative about Assad, because they wanted to support the opposition to Assad. Just the same mistake, because we do that all the time. Just like in Benghazi and Libya, I guess it would be like something after that, just like Olympic City or Chase Bank, or some kind of what do they call those, gay ops. Even though people really die, like, if the problem is for you to establish that somebody really died, we already know that. That's not what we're saying. It's not saying that it's fake because nobody really died, kind of thing. You're just playing games. So I think they don't care. I'm telling you, it's sorcery. I watched this video like 4 times. So I'm about to go back and watch it again because it's like, it's almost like it's boring to watch that video, but then to know how to break down and to like get the perspective from him, you'll see it's not actually boring. What's going on is not boring. Being able to detect, you know, somebody has their rhetoric from an NGO, from a, you know, or something like, oh shit, how did it get to them? Like, they're not even really tuned in to all that stuff. How do they already know to say it, even if it's not true? How do they already know to say that, even if it's not true? It was like some probably Facebook or something. Like one time I got up and there was this newspaper. They don't deliver newspapers to everybody in my building, but there was this newspaper on every door. And then I went down the lobby and there was a newspaper on every little table in the lounge. And then there was a protest. So it's like that newspaper was just put out to tell everybody go to the protest. And you know, like after that stopped. So it was like, is this a newspaper? So it made it look like a newspaper. Weird. Not that it would be any more credible if it was a newspaper. It's just, you know, I don't know, people don't even know what it just looks a little like, oh, that's reputable, so I'm just gonna go along with that. Because I don't want to be against whatever it is that can give me friends. I like having friends. I don't want to be on the outs in your social group or your family or whatever. So it's like you have to act like you care about something. Why don't you, if you really care about it, why don't you get yourself informed? You see, there's opposition to you even finding out things. You even have opposition to you even paying attention or studying something. But you don't want to because it comes from people like you too. You're the opposition to people studying something, including their enemies. Study your enemies. You must be listening to them because something you like. Okay, then how come you're always the first one to come out with the fucking distraction narrative then? If sometimes it's a bad thing, sometimes it's a good thing. Trump is making peace with Iran. He can't do that. Somebody tell him, you can't do that. You can't talk to our enemies. The fuck? I thought, when was you not war? See, this is what that Praise and Follow You video is about, is what made these people warmongers. What turned the progressives to think war was progressive? Because they're not having original thoughts. This is not, they don't come up with talking points on their own. They're being fed right directly in. And when they tell you, they think that you think that they are coming up with original, an original take. It's unfortunate that it's like, well, do I stress myself out with explaining something to you? You might actually be in the know. And so if I explain something to you and you understand, if you already understand it and I'm explaining it to you, then I look like a dummy. It's a conspiracy to save energy from, you know, getting out of conversations that are supposed to, you know, suck you in by people who don't even want to claim to be politics oriented. It's always like, I don't like it because I want to have friends. It's like I want to be like, I want people to like me. I'm nice, you know what I mean? So I'm apolitical. But then they always have you know something, you know. Oh, did you hear about this? And just by saying, did you hear about it could be, what's it called? Lie by structure. So lying by structure sometimes gets you to lie unknowingly because you're referring to something that's set up and premised on a lie by structure. You don't even have to omit anymore. You get me to do the lying work for you by when I think I'm trying to be reasonable or something, and you get me to bite into a hokey doke bliss wrap type of. That's why they have made new age tangentials for people, because maybe the bliss wrap didn't work. Maybe you didn't accept the bliss wrap, so they still have different things that can turn into new age tangentials. Like, I don't even think that humans meant it on purpose to be like that. Like, it wasn't a conspiracy. It just kept getting new life. It changed from one thing to another. It was a treasure map. It was the mystique about the Chateau de Lorraine or something. It was like the tourist trap, the something that was able to regenerate revenue, and then it turned into the Da Vinci Code, and then it turned into a new age tangential. Same thing with the Great Mother, because the pagan, they try to say, oh, you're Christian or a Republican means that you hate pagan. You don't like pagan stuff. Well, you can still wonder what is a Great Mother. So you're not against the Great Mother for your interest in learning more about Ishwa. If I'm going to say Ishwa, you could say Jesus. I'm not going to play the name game, but it's what you want to call him. So you're against the Great Mother because you're for the patriarchy and Christianity. But the thing is about it is that you can still wonder what is a Great Mother. It's not a lost concept. It's just that turned into a new age tangential to get you to reject Ishwa, the Mashiach. And it's a new age tangential. Venus worship or something. Oh, what's it called? Gynocentrism. And the thing is, that's so funny because if you like, Christians believe in entropy as opposed to being like evolution, and it's not. We're not panspermia. It's not panspermia, but the concept of parthenogenetic replication comes from entropy. And because you can't associate that human beings had at some point the ability to do it, you would not be getting. Think about this. That's why would you say the Great Mother if the Great Mother can only reproduce a clone of herself, a female clone of herself? Going by Druid and Amazon like lore from the like Amazon, and I'm not saying that this is real or it happens. I'm not saying that it's definitely because I'm just saying, if it's entropy, why do you need to say like there's reptilians or something? You have the reptilian brain too, right above, right back here. The fight, flee, fornicate, feed response mechanism of the reptilian brain, right, is in like right back there. You even have a pineal gland, which is like a rosebud, a flower. It doesn't blossom because you're denser than plant material, but it turned into a pillar of salt. I guess that's Tantra. So I think like there may be something to that stuff, but I'm not going to follow it to the new age tangential that they wanted to make, like you ascended master, so you get to live in a crystal. If you're an ascended master, you can live in a crystal. You can choose to live in one of the big crystals. I don't know. I kind of doubt that I could get away with just being on here and just talking regular, because It's not really that interesting or entertaining, or you really don't get views unless it's something bad. Or clickbait somebody with something negative. And so most of the time I try to get to the point quick, try not to meander and draw my speech out long and take times like and stuff, because a lot of times, like, I don't ever know what's interesting that I'm going to get into, and a lot of times it's at the end. But you know, and I looked at a lot of the live streams. I was scanning through all the live streams, and I have, like, everybody out there in the live stream world is crazier than me. I thought I was crazy. I mean, there's a couple of people that are normal, right? They just talk about normal shit. Like, they got the kids walking around and stuff, and they're like and then they want to be like, make sure they don't offend anybody, but they want to talk about subjects, but at the same time not offend anybody. And I can't say that they're not doing normal shit, you know. But there's most of them are all just like fortune tellers, female preachers. There might be like somebody just staring and reading the comments. A lot of people just, how many people watch channels where people just stare at the comments and just sit there and just like, yeah, like, it's like, I don't know, like, I looked through all the streams, I haven't seen anything interesting. There's only like 4 different types of live stream. They're all on 4 different shit. Either a female preaching, a male preacher, like, they're all preaching, or it'll be like a craft, somebody doing crafts or something, which is, like, I don't know why you would want to make 3D paper dolls, but that's on you if you want to do that. But there was just like, I mean, I think the smartest thing you can watch is like Basely Analyzer or Praise of Folly or something. They do live stream, but as far as just like surfing through TikTok or something, you're not gonna find nothing. You're just gonna find a bunch of crazy people. And you could say that, oh, you're crazy too, like, you know what I mean. But oh yeah, video game streamers, they're kind of normal. Video game streamers are kind of normal. But a lot of it is like some new age tangentials, you know, like or setting up for the new wave, you know, the new age religion. It's like they want to have a go at the Christians again. Can't, like why are they so, like, why do they even care what the Christians are doing? If you're doing that, you shouldn't care. You can't do both. But when you you find out that it's kind of like the same thing. Like, it's not doing the same thing, but it's a departure from that. When you already know more than everybody, why would you want to keep falling in that same new age tangential? You're too scared to help anybody not to fall into it because you don't want to be mean. So, I mean, I just got more interested in that, which could remove all curse. Like, who removes all curses? Why do they call it a ghost spell? Like a ghost spell? You say a ghost spell, like they're putting a spirit in you, because, you know, what if it's an evil spirit? That's a good question. Oh, every spiritual thing isn't good. There's evil spirits too. So, you want to, like, there's more to learn than I think people are aware of. Like, they stop short and they just want to set up a ministry. They're not really going deep into anything. Like, I'm still trying to figure out what a lot of these words mean, and you can't get it from all these Protestant and evangelical people. They never talk about it. Like, what is Ecclesiastics like about? Like, what, what is like hermeneutics, or what is like even some simply like even some things that go before that, like just like teleology, like these are things that people can't what's it called, you can't say I made that up, you know what I mean? Because it's like I could refer right to the telos of what I'm trying to say, or something like you can track the teleology. It's for anybody to be able to track it. It's not plain like something dangling over your head. This could be a scam. All those scams are all trying to act like they got something they can dangle over your head, and they're not explaining something that deeper about when you want to put it behind you. People that want to put it behind them, they understand something, but there's still like a quibbling voice coming at them, still trying to break the duality into four. It's like it's dual now. It's like it splits off, and it's like even more dualistic now, because it's we're using dialectics instead of talking about the subject, because the subject really just rips. It can go on your whole life. You could be studying this shit. You could be studying it, your whole life. I can't even hardly even talk about it. I know a lot of like names and words of things and stuff, and I just watch channels that help me piece it together, because they know what to read. They've read things for me, so they know what to look for, so that I can go right to it. So that's why it's just a fast track. Like, you're not going to get fast track listening to Protestants and evangelists. They're broke too. They're broken. Their whole, it's like a plateau. Even though they have the most the best recruiting mechanism, how come they're falling off? The church with no recruiting mechanism is going to end up getting all of them, and that's a trip. It's called the Orthodox approach to interpretation, so that you could be brought into it logically. So if just anybody can't debase my logic or something, there's still dialectic weasel words. They still know how to fucking materialize this like talking sock puppet out of thin air. That's like still like, even if nobody's caught on to it, there's an adversary. There's an adversary talking to you when you're smarter than everybody. I'm not saying that I am. There's an adversary talking to you, and people don't want to pay attention to what's going on. They want some like jingle or something, like they remembered a tune or something, or the words to some jingle, and then there was like a little bit of something that make them to finish like that's not what I was saying. And then they just remember like the words in some little like jingle or something, like ooh ha ha ha, like ooh ah ah or something. It's just like, okay, what do you think? I'm really mean like that? Like I'm really gonna be mean and everything? I mean, even you understand at some level that I have to regard myself as a freed slave. Then I have to regard, if I'm to tell you something that's leading you out of a false theology, a bad theology, that you're initiated through humility. So it's like I recognize something in you that happened with me before when I was that kind of. That's how ideally, you know what I mean? So they know that, but they want to tempt you to become the ego. They want to tempt you to be God. They want to tempt you to be God. And it's like, so they don't have to challenge themselves. I mean, they have to be against you. It's not evil that women want to turn out those alpha to a beta. They need to get him in the friend section as quickly as possible because they will have to fuck him. And a man is always a problem to another man. You might feel the same way that you do. Like, that's irritating because I understand. And even though I understand, because if I didn't understand that I didn't feel the same way you do about her, then it wouldn't irritate. Like, you would just like, oh, he's a hot dog. He's just a cat, or he's perving, or you just focus on, like, you know, what he get. Then, you know, we don't, you know, you still, or you still know who the right, you know, it's like if they can agree with you, then they can't put you in the friend section. The dudes know that, and they try to exploit it because it seems like they're, you know how they won't want to jump on the women's case immediately. Can't wait, you know what I mean? Because the way I explain this shit, it makes it seem like they did something wrong. Did they do something wrong? But you know what's funny? It's like it's counterintuitive. Nah, not really. The fact that it's a gimmick that gay dudes will never give up is that they constantly mock women, but women fuck with them because they would know the second that you are actually attracted to them, and that's bi. I'm bi. Did you know I was bi? So they won't fuck with you no more if you're not really a real gay, and they can really use they can tune into that, and it's consistent to them, and to a point that they would be able to recognize if you're not really gay. You're bi. Nobody's bi. So then really, what are you? Don't stop mocking women. If you're gay, don't stop mocking women, because you might be bi. And if you're gonna stop mocking women, stop entirely and just don't mock. Just give up the game. That's the only thing, is you don't have to. There's no, like, we say you're mocking women, but they like it. I mean, there's something that you're like, this is consistent, okay? As long as you're mocking women, I know you're gay. We can hang out. You're not gonna start like, did you know I was bi? I'd be doing men and laying down and getting dick to it.